Howdy. Hey everybody. Let's see. It is 5:30 New York time on Wednesday, February 11th, 2015. I just got back from a nice little walk outside along the East River. Sun's starting to go down. You can see outside, sorta, kinda, not really. Um, I was just reaching to do something, and I realized that I have not posted on here in almost, let's see, I guess like a week and a half. So it's been a while, and a lot has happened. I kept like meaning to post, on this day, and then on this day, and then on this day, and like things just kept getting in the way. A lot of you have probably seen, like, on Facebook and Snapchat, like, Autumn and I have had several little adventures in the last week, starting with going to shovel her car out of the snow in Queens. That was a first. Not really something that was on my bucket list, but I guess I can cross it off now as things that I've done. I can see why people here don't really like the winter. It's definitely brutal in the city, and if you have a car, it's just 10 kinds of crazy. So I definitely made the right choice in selling mine before coming up here, because there's just no way I could go out there and have to do what Autumn and I did by myself on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis. We got out there, and I mean, I'm not really good with like dimensions, like telling you measurement wise. Like, basically, the snow was above her tires, like all the, halfway up the hood of the car. And she has an SUV, so there was a lot of snow. And it was from like 2 weeks prior, so it was iced over, which was even worse. So that was a lot of fun. We got, the utensils out, and thankfully, so we had taken a train out to this part of Queens, like the subway doesn't go to. So we had taken a train, and then we had to get like a cab, or we Ubered actually to Autumn's aunt's house. And we were talking, of course, with the driver, and Autumn was asking for advice, on like where to start, and are there any tips or tricks that you know of? And there were two things that he told us. He was like, one, like, you should get some kitty litter. Okay, that was a first. He said, it's has like the same effect as salt, only it's better for the environment, and blah blah blah. So we weren't really sure about that. We didn't go buy kitty litter, but like at first. But that was definitely something to think about. But then he said to start in the back of the car and make sure that the tailpipe is clear before you start the car. Because like Autumn's plan was to go and start the car so that like the snow that was on the hood and everything else would start melting like while we're shoveling the rest of it. Um, Anyways, so the reason that you do that, I'm sure all you people will like realize, but didn't really occur to us, is so that the exhaust isn't coming back into the car. So when we went to get in it, we didn't, like pass out, fall asleep, and all that stuff. So that was the first project. Autumn did that herself. I videoed that bit. And then once I did that, I got in the car and started it up, and then got to like real work. Of course, I was wearing like 15 layers because I was going to be outside for, who knew how long. But then I started sweating. And for those of you who know me really well, know that that is not something I enjoy, and I try to steer clear of at all costs. So, well, it was, I ended up having to like lose layers while we were outside, needless to say. And after about, I don't know, like 2 hours or more, uh, we should have timed it. I don't know why we didn't do that, but we were just like trying to get her done, you know. Um, but we moved pretty fast, and a lot of that was because like we kept having people tell us like you're not gonna get out until spring, blah blah blah. We had people walking by, you know, that were like, wow, you girls are in for a real treat, you know, welcome to New York, that sort of thing. Of course, you know, that just served as inspiration to move faster and shovel harder. And so, I mean, I feel like we got it done like in record time. But of course, like, there were several people that had instruction for us and how to, you know, to do it better or what needed to be done. And so we had kind of figured out that like the front part of the car was going to really need to be cleared, you know, because for Autumn to like move out of this space like without, she didn't have 4-wheel drive, and so we didn't want to go over snow and like risk of slipping around and doing anything like that. So that's like where our efforts were concentrated, like there at the end. Like I dug a lot of her tires out, you know, and under and around. But then like the front part, oh, there were so much, and it seemed like it was gonna keep going forever. And then one of Autumn's aunt's neighbors, I guess he was gone to the store or something. He's like walking down the sidewalk, and he comes over and he's like, you know, y'all need to keep going. Like you've done enough. You can get that car out. And Autumn was like, even though I don't have 4-wheel drive? And he's like, yeah, like I could get out for you. Like, do you want me to do it? And of course, like Autumn looks at me and she's kind of like, I don't know. Am I going to let this stranger in my car? And I, you know, I looked at her like, get her done. Like, let him at it. You know, I don't want to keep going if we don't have to. So he gets in, and one try, he just goes and pulls that sucker out. No problem. No slipping, no sliding, no like kicking up snow, nothing. And we both just kind of stood there and was like, you know, I mean, we were so grateful that we didn't have to keep going. I really wanted to catch it on video though, and like it all just happened like so fast, you know, I wasn't able to do that. But anyways, that was a real adventure. Thank you, Autumn, for letting me take part in that. Aside from that, like it was really beautiful out there because there was a lot of snow still left, and a lot more trees, obviously, than there are here in the city, aside from like the park and stuff. So that was, let's see, last Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. And then that night we went to go see The River, starring Hugh Jackman and a girl named like Cush Jumbo or something like that. I don't know, a weird name. And then Laura Donnelly, who I loved. She was like really, really awesome in the show. Oh. So anyways, we went and saw that. It was the theater in the round, so I felt like I was so close to Hugh Jackman, like, and when he walked on stage, I like grabbed Autumn because it was just like losing my cool a little bit. He's so very good looking, and his accent is just I don't know what I meant by that, but I'm sure y'all understand. Anyways, that was really good. It was weird. It was different. Autumn and I were so tired, you know, because that was the same day that we'd been shoveling, and we had taken this big trip, you know, out of the city and then back into the city, and we basically came home. We had an hour to get, you know, presentable to go to the show, and we kept trying to like get an idea of what the show was about, and there was really not a good synopsis anywhere that I could find. And when I read like the 3 lines that I had seen in a review somewhere, Autumn, oh, poor Autumn was so tired. She like looks over at me and she was like, "Oh great, this is gonna be one of those emotional journey type things." It was just funny, you know, because we were just so exhausted from the day and from everything. So, but it was good. It was different. It was an 85-minute show, so it was really short. And it closed last weekend, so I'm glad that we had the chance to go and do that. And then, to be perfectly honest, I don't even remember what I did the next day. I know we did something. I don't remember what it was at all. And then Friday, we had bought tickets like way before Christmas to go see Megan Hilty at the Lincoln Center. And so we got kind of gussied up for that. Like a lot of times you don't get too dressed up, for shows and stuff around here. I don't know, it's like not a big deal like it is in Houston, but we did get gussied up to go see Megan Hilty. Wow. Almost just knocked over my lamp. So anyways, we go have dinner and we get to Lincoln Center and then go through this whole rigmarole because the ticket said Lincoln Center, but it was not like at the traditional, like what you think of when you see Lincoln Center. So we ended up having to like book it down the sidewalk to this other place called Jazz at the Appel, or Jazz at Lincoln Center, something like that. And then we were in the Appel room. Luckily, like we found where we were supposed to be, and this space was oh my gosh, it's like my favorite place to hear someone sing or like hear a band or whatever that I've ever been to. And maybe part of it was because of like this time of year and like New York and everything else. Like I posted a picture on Facebook that I'm sure a lot of you saw, but it was another kind of like theater in the round. So it was really small. There was not a bad seat in the house, and the whole like backdrop was glass, and you could see like the skyline of the east side of the city, and you could see a corner of Central Park, and the sidewalks, and then everything else that was covered in snow, and then you see Columbus Circle and all the traffic that's coming down, like, at the bottom of the park, and it was just so beautiful. And I was only able to snap a picture before the show started. Once Megan Hilty came out, I was like, no photography, please turn your phones off, all that, blah, 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 blah. Usual stuff. And, like, as she started to sing, a couple songs into it, I just happened to kind of glance up, and I see the moon, which, of course, was full, like, making its way across, the backdrop. And it was just one of those magical things. Just, to hear her singing some like classics, American pop standards, and then have that beautiful backdrop that was, it was one of those moments, it was like burned into my brain, and just thank God for beautiful things like that. So that was Friday. That was, the highlight of the day. And, then Saturday, Autumn had this idea, because she and I both like Gilmore Girls, to drive up to Connecticut before, her car went back to Texas, because that's why we were digging it out the other day. I didn't really explain all that backstory, but, like, she's sending her car back to Texas. And anyway, so, we wanted to get one road trip out of the car before it went bye-bye. So she had like looked up and found like some of the different towns that Amy Sherman Palladino had used as inspiration for writing about the town of Stars Hollow. And so we drove up there, or Autumn drove. She did a good job, especially in some areas when I told her to go one way that had too much snow, and she didn't want to, but Siri and I were both telling her this was the way to go. She did it, and then I was like a basket case because I was laughing so hard. And like, for those of you who know me, like in situations like that, I'm just kind of get the giggles and can't really stop. So anyways, that was fun. It was beautiful, beautiful countryside. There was just so much snow everywhere. And, my phone died, of course, because I was taking pictures like crazy and video and all of that. And, if you haven't had a chance, go look through my album, because it's just, every single place we turned, it was picturesque. It looked like something out of a movie or film, not like anything you'd ever see in Texas, even though there was like barns and farms and whatnot, just completely different. And everything was super old, like incorporated or founded, in like 1700 this and 1700 that. And this place that we spent most of our time in was Washington Depot, and it's there's a tavern that we ate lunch at called the JW Tavern, which is after George Washington, and they call it that because this was an area that George Washington used to travel all the time. So it's like population of, I don't know, like 1,000 or 3,000, something super small. And anyways, it was just really beautiful. It was a really good trip. We were there and back, and like it seemed like no time at all, but we had done and seen so much in such a short period of time. And anyways, it was a nice little getaway, and that's pretty much been the highlights of the last couple of days. Trying to think. Oh, right. There's that. The mouse issue. I had a second sighting. I'm hoping it's the same mouse, but I don't know. Of course, there's no way for me to know. I finally gave in and went and bought like a little trap thing. And I've set it out, and nothing's happened yet, so we'll see. Cross your fingers for me. I just really don't want to have to deal with this at all. I did a lot of research, though, because I didn't want to use sticky traps, and I didn't want to use those traps, and I didn't want to have to see it. I didn't want to have to touch it. I didn't want to have to do anything with it. And I was just telling Autumn, like, I knew there had to be a better way. And anyways, I found this contraption at Duane Reade, which is like our Walgreens or whatever. And it's got an enclosed thing, and then you like pull this out, and anyways, the mouse like goes into it, and then the thing comes and it tells you like once the mouse is caught. But you don't see the mouse, you can't see, you don't have to look at it or touch it or anything, and like there's like a little sign that tells you like, okay, the trap is set, and then mouse is caught. So we'll see if anything exciting happens from that. It is now, let's see, I've been talking to you for 18 minutes, and probably y'all are bored and ready to go, because no one really wants to watch a video of me just rambling for 18 minutes. I'm going to have dinner with Chris in an hour, so I'm excited about that. We're going to a place here in my neighborhood. I always go over to the west side to meet her, so we're trying a place over here, and I'm excited. It's a place I've been wanting to go to, and so I guess I will let you go for now. My song. My song. I'm going to go with I Put a Spell on You by Annie Lennox, because she sang it the other night at the Grammys and rocked my world. It was my favorite performance. She was just so like carefree and like rocking out. And anyway, so I'd go listen to that if I was you. And of course, I hope everyone makes good choices. And I will talk to you soon. Miss you!